Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to round 8 of the ILR3 season 6 championship. Tonight you join us in Le Castellet, France at the Circuit de Paul Ricard for quite an excellent qualifying session so far. I've only just realised that the race isn't actually being streamed, so that's rather annoying, and I don't think I've called it ILR2. But yeah, I had a bit of a glitch earlier with the session sounds. I think that should be fixed at this point though. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what happened there. The original stream only lasted for 1:26, so I can't quite tell what I was doing for most of that time. But yeah, anyway, let's get to it. It should be quite a good race this evening. And there's been some excellent laps here. And Ardenine just missing out on that 129 barrier actually, with a 1:30.0. Yeah, I'm so annoyed. I didn't even realise the stream was even on, so that could have been very disastrous. Fortunately, I managed to catch that. Your boy Dylan doing well. Yes, he is currently on provisional pole, so that's always quite good to see. CJ6 then on a hot lap. Oh, never mind. That looks very, very cold. To be honest, he's decided to retire from the session. He's done it as far off track as possible. Kvyat Campbell is on a hot lap, and we'll find someone to ride on board with for a full hot lap. In fact, we'll ride on board with Paga. Here we go then, through the final turn where it's all about the exit, eating that curb. Of course, the curbs are very low profile here in France, so you can eat as much of it as you like without going past the limits, which is very easy to do. Because of that, you can run over them so easily. It's very easy to get all 4 of those wheels past those white lines. Anyway, through turns 2 and 3 already, before heading towards the left-hand kink that leads into turn 4. Turn 4 heavy braking, then turn 5 braking a bit more, regulating throttle and brake, then through turn 6 flat out through here, but a bit of a lift through turn 7 usually. Yeah, just trying to keep it on track, heading through turn 7 actually there, up towards turn 8 with DRS activated immediately. It's all about the line through here, and this turn is very reminiscent of the second Mulsanne chicane at Le Mans. Of course, we are in France, that's somewhat related, but it's not F1 anyway. Heading out of the second, I was about to say the second Mulsanne, heading out of turn 9 then towards the right hand turn that is flat out of turn 10, before downhill braking into turn 11, trying to get that late double apex here before heading up the hill for turn 12, trying to get that maximum speed. Through turn 12 we go then. It's all about the speed on the exit for turn 13. Turn 13 of course is flat out then, trying to eat the right hand curb and get that braking zone flat through turn 14 and out of turn 15. Then what kind of lap time can Paga do? Will he be able to take provisional pole? I'm not quite sure. Across the line he goes, but it's going to be an improvement. Not quite enough though. It's only going to be a 1:29.6. He needed to find 3/10 to get that provisional pole, and he's not going to be able to do it so far. Here comes Tianato Pedro in sector 3. He's on a hot lap out of turn 13 then. What kind of lap time can he set in his Haas? Currently in turn P5. Getting mixed up. I had a very big lunch and I'm very bloated right now. Anyway, heading towards the line then. Yellow flags being waved. I think that's probably just because of the car going slowly. Till Pedro is actually slower that lap by 0.08 of a second. That's Josh Mayer. He's quite early on in his lap. Lawman's on the other hand is heading up towards turn 12 now in his Toro Rosso. Exactly the same colour as those off-track coloury bit things there. You know, the blue and red stripes. Same colour. It looks like. Anyway, through turn 14, he's running low on fuel. I can see that in the bottom right. But anyway, heading out of turn 15 then. Bit of wheel spin, but revving it all the way through gear 3 and 4. That's going to put him in 7th with an improvement of nearly 0.4 of a second. This is Terra Racer. Terra Racer's actually finished. Here comes Josh Mayer across the line. Going to improve by 0.2, so that's going to put him all the way up into 4th place. Paga is yet to finish his final lap. Here comes Spaghetti Chips though, heading through turn 14 now. He's currently in 11th with a 1:30.3. What can he do to improve in his Renault? No drivers on the hard so far. Someone improves ahead of him. Spaghetti Chips across line. That's going to put him up into 5th place, pushing Owen Wyatt down into 6th. Just Paga left to finish, and he's going to go into the pits. So that is your qualifying order this evening. There will be rain at the end of the race. That is going to be interesting. Thanks for letting us know that, Owen. And rain lasts 3 to 4 laps. Will it be early enough to pit? I'm not quite sure. Or late enough, rather. Anyway, here comes the qualifying order. It's going to be ILRGT on pole position, followed by Paganes and Dougie Falcons. Then Josh Mayer, Spaghetti Chips, Owen White, 15, Lewis, 11004, D43, Tom Mayo, Loss, Deneen, 69, Tianato, Pedro Lawmans, Terror Racer, 96, KLT, Lisa, Luca, CJ Slicks, The Ginger, 2121, Verstappen, RB, 33, Kryptonite, QVR Campbell, Calm Racer, Alice Killer, rounding off the grid there then. Here we go. We should be staying on dries, alright then. That is some interesting information. Thank you very much for that, Owen. And let's get ready for the race. That is going to definitely spice up those last couple of laps. Everyone only separated by 1.7 seconds. The guys on softs only separated by just over a second. Okay, so similar forecast to ILR8. I didn't actually watch ILR8, but from what I can tell, they had similar weather conditions, so it's expected to stay on dry to the end of the session. We'll have to wait and see though, because the drivers are selecting their strategies for the race. That rain is going to worry them a bit and probably won't come early enough for them to pit though. Usually you'd pit around 3 laps after intermediate style rain starts falling, you know what I mean? But with only 3 to 4 laps of the race at the end, it should be interesting. PS4 grip compared to PC is a joke. I'd take it that PS4 grip is very good. I don't know. Don't really know what it's like. F1's like on PC, but anyway, the pole position of ILR1 was a 129.4. The pole position for us in ILR3 was a 129.3. So actually, ILRGT faster than an ILR1 driver for qualifying. So that is a very blistering lap time from Delano, whichever you want to call him. PS4 is extremely good compared to PC. Well, that's what you get for bragging about being a PC master race. Joking, that's all in good humour, of course. I do want to move to PC, but you never know. Of course, all the good sims are on PC, which is quite sad for all us lowly console gamers who can't afford iRacing because it doesn't come on console. Neither does R-Factor. It's probably too sophisticated. But anyway, let's get ready because we have got quite a few laps to go this evening. We're actually going to get rid of the telemetry unless we need it. We'll get our position change ready because that is, in my opinion, the most important part of the first couple of laps, because it will be interesting. Turns 1 to 6 are where we're going to see the most overtakes. Actually, turn 8 though, we could see quite a few dive bombs, although it is risky to go into a chicane that is as tight as that. So we will have to wait and see. Nothing compared, no, not nearly, let me start again. There are not nearly as many chicanes here in France as there are in Canada. Circuit de Gilles Villeneuve. Of course, we've got 2 very French-sounding names for the past 2 races on the calendar. Canada was a cracker, or I suppose you could call it cracking Canada, where we have a fantastic France. We'll find out in just a few moments' time as the drivers round turn 15 to start. 27 laps here in France for round 8 of the championship. Here we go. ILRGT on pole position. We've just got the drivers coming up behind. They were very close actually during that formation lap. The tyres and brakes should be warm enough. Let's get ready to race. It's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Red lights are out and away we go. It looks like it's going to be a good start from Betty. Next to him is Paganis. And round down the inside of Paga will be going Dougie Falcons. Can he get the position on the Red Bull? No, he can't. Let's go down the order though, because Spaghetti Chips has lost the position to one of the McLarens, who's actually right up the chuff of his teammate of Josh Mayer. Let's watch this from onboard Spaghetti Chips. Can Josh Mayer get the position? He's going to move around the outside as we're lagging very badly. The two McLarens are actually ghosting as round the outside goes Tomo on Deneen. He can't quite get the position. He's going to send it back down the inside though into turn 6. Can he hold on to that? Can the Mercedes keep the Toro Rosso on his outside? Let's have a look. It doesn't look like he's going to be able to manage it. Here comes Deneen and here comes Tomo. Tomo's going to go around the outside. Of course, no ERS or DRS. They're pretty much exactly the same pace as we go through towards turn 8. It looks like Deneen's going to have the upper hand. Tomo's going to switch to the inside. Can he get the position under braking for turn 8? No, he can't. He's going to have to back off as up ahead. We see Spaghetti Chips trying to get somewhere past Lewis. Has he got it on the exit? No, he hasn't. Spaghetti Chips has bottled it on the exit of turn 9. He's spun, and that has not gone well for the Renault driver. Here comes Terror Racer then, right up the chuff of Kryptonite through turn 10. There's going to fags and sectors 2 and 3 because of that spin. It's a good run from the racing point, but he's going to have to back off. Actually, he's going to send it down the inside because Kryptonite has run deep into turn 11, and Verstappen might be able to get somewhere on him. It's not been a great qualifying for this Ferrari driver, although he has made up a couple of positions at the start of the race. Kvyat Campbell trying to find somewhere past Verstappen, RB33, but he just can't quite get the room. Up ahead though, we have a bit of a train forming behind CJ6. We've got Ginger and Terror Racer as Terror Racer has switched back in front of Kryptonite. That was a bit of a dodgy move there from the racing point, and it's forced Kryptonite to have quite a slow exit. We could see a move from Verstappen though as he head along the straight towards turn 1. Verstappen's going to have a look down the inside of the Alfa Romeo. Can he make it happen? No, he can't. He's just going to have to back off from there then. Kryptonite on the Terror Racer. The Ginger running a bit wide out of turn 2 as we head towards turn 3. Can we see a move from either of the drivers? No, we can't. Actually, it looks like that racing point is ghosting as down the inside goes Kryptonite. Can he get the position on the racing point? Yes, he can. Now Verstappen will be trying to make best of that move in front of him. Heading towards turn 8 then. Can he make a move? We're going to have to hop back up the order as after the chicane. He's going to have a look down the inside. Can he get it under braking for turn 8? No, he can't. Oh, he's been punted in the back by Kvyat Campbell, it looked like. Unless that was just lag. In case it was, I'm going to turn off my phone Wi-Fi. And I think we are just having a bit of lag there. But we're going to go up to these two McLarens as we head through turn 11. They're going to be side by side. Who's going to come out on top? It looks like Lewis has just about got the position on his teammate as that's the Ginger out of the session. That is the Ginger. He has crashed. I'm not sure where. Has he done a Spaghetti Chips? I can't quite tell. But we've got a lot of shuffling on the order through sector 3 then. And I don't know where the Ginger has crashed. And it looks like Deneen has had a bit of an incident as well. He's going very slowly, losing many positions there as Betty sets the fastest lap. Yeah, I don't know what's happened to the Ginger. It was probably around the pit lane. Maybe he crashed in the pit lane entrance. I don't know. Very interesting. Ooh. Verstappen is close behind the racing point of Terror Racer. We are not going to ride on board with that. That was horrible. But anyway, yeah, we're not riding on board with this Ferrari as we head through the next turn. It looks like Verstappen's not going to be able to get the move. It's been a good start to the race for Kryptonite. He's made up 8 positions. It's been bad for Josh and Spaghetti. Oh, Josh must have had a collision with Deneen because Josh has lost many positions as well. He was up in 4th or 5th earlier, just a few moments ago. As here goes Kryptonite down the inside into turn 8 on Tianato Pedro. He's tapped the back of the hat. I've bitten my tongue, but he's going to get the switchback. What a move there. He's had a bit of a wheel-to-wheel contact with Tianato Pedro, nearly crashing him out of the race. Terror Racer even going to try and get past here. It looks like smoke coming from Kryptonite. I'm not entirely sure why that is. And it's not been a great turn for the racing point. As for Pedro, is right up the chuff of the Alfa Romeo. It's down the inside goes Verstappen on the exit of turn 11 on the racing point. Terror Racer is going to send it back up the inside for turn 12. They're going to be side by side as we go through turn 15. It's all about the exit. Side by side we go then. Riding on board with Verstappen. Can he get the position? He's just behind Terror Racer. In towards turn 15. He's going to have to back off as he gets a little lock up on that front right tyre. Heading along the straight then. Quite the DRS train. As what is going on with that racing point? He is lagging more than someone with their PlayStation Ethernetted to a potato. but Verstappen trying to find somewhere past Terror Racer. Kvyat Campbell doing the same to Verstappen though, heading through turns 3 and 4. And out of turn 5, Verstappen ran a bit deep, but he's had a good exit. Can he get the position off of Terror Racer? I'm not sure he can actually. I'm going to say though, Betty has had some absolutely fantastic pace all the way up into first. But here comes Verstappen, heading along the straight. He's going to look down the inside of Terror Racer. No, he's going to back off again through turn 8. Just not got enough room to make a move there. And that's going to be him staying in that position. Let's get rid of our position change then. And heading it back on board with Verstappen. He's close behind as we head through turn 10. We might see a move here through turn 11. Not quite. He's going to have to back off there. Although up at the top we've got Lewis. Very close behind Dougie. In fact, he's hit Dougie. Is there damage for that McLaren? I can't quite tell. It doesn't look like it though. It looks like he's come out of that unscathed somehow. I'm not entirely sure how. But looking down the inside is Tomo on the McLaren. Trying to get somewhere through here. It's been a good exit there for Dougie though. And that's going to delay Lewis. But Owen Wyatt is right up the chuff of Tomo. With her head, Lewis is going to send it down the inside of Dougie for the podium position. Can he get it under braking for turn 1? Yes, he can. And that is third position there for the McLaren driver. Tomo has got a look in his mirrors though, because he will see them full of the Red Bull of Owen Wyatt. Through turns 3 and 4 we go. That's not been a great line for Tomo. It looks like he's messed up turn 3 there. He's going very slowly on the exit. Can Owen Wyatt get him for that mistake? It doesn't look like it. Tomo has managed to recover there. And he's not going to lose that position right now. Sorry about that. That was the sound of my pedals falling off my stand, which is why I need to hard mount them. I'm not even sure why I'm messing about with my pedals, but anyway, it's better than something else, I can assure you. Verstappen is in 10th. Will that be... Oh my goodness, why doesn't he have to have the drive limiter glitch? But into turn 10 we go. He's going to go around the outside of the house. Can he make the position? As behind goes Kvyat Campbell down the inside of Terror Racer. They're going to be side by side though. Through towards turn 11. Who can get the move? It looks like Verstappen, although Verstappen's run a bit deep. Can the Haas get him back up the hill? Of course the Haas is on soft tyres. Verstappen is only on mediums. But Verstappen RB33 has got the position. See an upwards to Pedro very close behind. As is Kvyat Campbell to Terror Racer. But I think Terror Racer is going to be able to defend for now as Dougie Falcons enters the pits to start that pit lane salvo. Already lap 6 then. And we'll have a look at the tyres of the drivers. Alice Killer has left the session. That's probably a disconnection as Con Racer is going to look down the inside into turn 1. No, you can't. It's going to have to back off from Campbell. Just not got enough room to make it through there. Although it looks like it's been a good exit for Campbell. He's going to have a look down the inside of the racing point of Terror Racer as we head through towards turn 3. Can he get the position? He's going to send it out of turn 4 then. It looks like he's got the position. Can Terror Racer find anywhere back? He's run a bit deep actually. Taking a bit of an early apex, trying to block that line for turn 5. But he just hasn't managed it. Out of turn 7 then. Campbell has finally got past the racing point. With DRS to assist him. It looks like Calm Racer's got some speed heading along the straight, although Terror Racer has also got DRS. As you can see a move here from Campbell, he's going to move around the outside of Pedro, which will become the inside line. Can he get the switchback on the exit of turn 9? No, he can't. Pedro just has a bit of a better acceleration. Although with the slipstream, Campbell is going to really benefit from that. He's going to have a look around the outside into turn 10. Can he make the move? It looks like they're going to be side by side, heading towards turn 11 now. And the Ferrari has overtaken the Haas, and Terror Racer might try and send it down the inside of Pedro. No, he's going to have to back off there. Of course, he's on the mediums. Pedro is on the softs. Con Racer then is close behind Terror Racer. As Terror Racer's had a bit of wheel spin, and that's Terror Racer has had a big moment. That's cost him a position to Con Racer, potentially too, although Alice Keller did leave the session temporarily. Con Racer has backed off and given Terror Racer that position back. Apparently that must have been an illegal overtake. Not entirely sure why. He was forced off track there, but a game's going to gain. There we go, the first set of pit stops. That is this, Owen Wyatt getting his first pit stop. Here goes Khan Racer. He's close behind Terror Racer, but not quite close enough to make a move. And I'm going to have a quick gulp of water. Even with 20 laps to go, the H2O supplies are already dwindling. So that might require a quick break at some point during the race. Up ahead, though, we see Verstappen and Lormans very close. And someone's hit the DRS sign. So that's going to be a bit annoying for some drivers. But Campbell, with the DRS assistance, is going to overtake Kryptonite like a... He's just breezed past the Alfa Romeo there. Verstappen, on the other hand, it doesn't look like it's going to be a breeze past Lormans as we head towards turn 10. Ahead, we can see Tomo and Lewis having a bit of a tussle. As down the inside it goes the Ferrari. He's got the position, although Lormans is going to try and send it back down the inside. He can't quite get the move, though. Tomo is going to overtake Lewis, though, because Lewis has run wide. Can Verstappen get the position as well? It looks like he's just about managed to overtake the McLaren, so that mistake has put Lewis off of the podium spots and all the way down into 5th. He is not going to be happy with himself for that, although Lormans is going to be close behind. So we'll have to wait and see if the Alfa Romeo can overtake, Toro Rosso, but they're both going to go into the pits, as you can see there. Quite a train actually going into the pits. We might see some drivers being held up in a second, actually. So that's going to be interesting. Yeah, so already 8 laps gone. It's been a fantastic Grand Prix. Only one DNF, although I think we've managed to lose the driver completely somehow. I'm not entirely sure what the cause of that is. In fact, that was a comment earlier, so I'm going to have a quick look at that. Oh, can you change? Yeah, Waste. Delano is Bessie. Sorry I haven't made that clear, but yeah. Delano changed his name to Bessie. Oh, right then. Lormans is actually relatively close behind Torpedro, so that's going to be a move in a sec, I reckon. Can he get it, though, is the next question when it comes to overtaking. It will be close. It just depends on how close. Bit of a moment there, actually, for Lormans. He's managed to correct it, though he did run a bit wide out of turn 7 as a result. Calm Racer up at the top, though. He might be trying to overtake Terror Racer. Not entirely sure. In fact, let's have a look at that battle, actually, because those two drivers are relatively close to each other. Paget is the only driver left on soft. The Ginger has joined the session, although he's not racing, so I'm not entirely sure why that is. I believe Alex has rejoined the session because he's still got some decent pace going on. Yeah, and Paget finally pits. Those softs really don't last very long. And it looks like the soft to hard and medium to hard strategies will be prominent this evening as Verstappen gets a fast lap with a 1:34.7 on those old mediums. So that will probably get smashed later this evening. Just depends on how much later. A third of the Grand Prix is already completed then. Josh Mayer has improved to a 1:34.4 as Paget and Dougie are having a bit of a scrap on track. Can we see a move here from the Red Bull to try and reclaim that position of Dougie from Paget? Not entirely sure. It all depends about the exit of turn 6 and 7 then. Flat out from here on out. It looks like Dougie has got it, although there's been a very good bunch of speed there for the Red Bull. He's going to try and get it past here. The DRS, of course, very powerful around this track, heading towards the chicane, and it looks like, yeah, that's Paget back up into 8th, of course. That's the next second once everyone has pitted. There's the yellow flags, though, and that is Lormans, I believe. Yeah, Lormans going very slowly, letting other drivers through. Has he got damage? I'm not sure. It looks like he might have just had a bit of a moment. Maybe some contact with another driver. Not entirely sure. But, yeah, that's not ideal for him. Lewis and Torpedro having a bit of a tussle here. Oh, that was very close, actually. Torpedro right up the chuff of Lewis then. Torpedro is also in a McLaren sandwich, and he's going to send it down the inside into turn 13, which will be around the outside for turn 14. Can he get the switch back? It looks like he's on mediums. Of course, Lewis is on hards. It will be a 2-stop scrap for Torpedro, though. Heading along the straight, moving around the outside, then goes to the Haas. Can he get the position? They're going to be side by side through turn 1, and it looks like with the assistance of DRS, That was an absolute breeze for the Haas. Calm Racer is still close behind Terror Racer. But I think we should stick to the battle between Torpedro and Lewis right now, because that's quite feisty. Oh, god damn it. We just missed the overtake, actually, from Ray Khan on Terror Racer. But anyway. Oh, gosh, I'm tired. Lewis is close behind Torpedro with DRS. Could he make a move into turn 8? I think he's going to have to back off, actually. Just not able to find a move here, although he has gone for a later apex. He might be able to get a better exit. I don't know, Torpedro seems to have got the traction down earlier, so it's going to be close between those two drivers. Up ahead we see a little battle occurring as well. So a bit of a DRS train. In fact, these two drivers are catching up to Torpedro, or to Tomo and Dougie, as well as Owen, so that's going to be one to watch. I'm out of water, and that is going to require fixing soonish. Betty with the fast lap, a 1:34.1, very fast there on those medium tyres. It looks like the two-stop might work for the Renault driver, but it looks like one OP Renault driver, sorry, has been replaced with another OP Renault driver. So I'm not sure how the lads in ILR3 are going to feel about that. But Lewis is going to be right up the shuffle of Torpedro through turn 3, out of turn 4 then. He might be able to close up. Yes, he does, towards turn 5. I don't think he's close enough to make a move, though. He's just going to have to back off there. Whereas Deneen and Kryptonite are very close. Deneen's actually run deep through turns 5 and 6. And yeah, we'll have to leave off that battle for now, although Deneen is catching rapidly to Kryptonite with the DRS to help him. Bit of a train forming behind Spaghetti Chips. Can Kryptonite make a move? He's going to have a look on the inside line for turn 8, but he's just not quite close enough to make a move there, and he's going to have to back off. Better back off than... Actually, no, it's probably not good to say what I was about to say, but here comes Deneen around the outside of Kryptonite. He could go for the switch back here. Kryptonite's going to go very defensively to the inside for turn 11. I'm not sure, though, can he hold on to the inside line? It doesn't look like it, actually. Through turn 13 we go. That gap for the drivers in front, actually, I've just noticed Dougie Falcons and Owen Wyatt having a bit of a tussle up at the front there. Oh, Dougie's nearly had a bit of a rear end there from Owen. Don't think he would ever expect to have that, to be honest. But anyway, heading through turn 3. Very close between these two drivers. Can Owen reclaim that position? Those mediums can go for quite a while. As you can see, some drivers having run them since the start of the race, although I'm not sure what point of the race they're going to give up. Probably halfway. And I'm not sure, but Torpedro seems to have been taking the liberties of track limits around France. Oh, what is Owen doing? He's hit the side of Dougie Falcons there. Dougie is going to be very angry about that. He tried to pull to the inside to make a move, but he tapped him in the side. Lewis now heading on Tomo. And Tomo on Owen. We can see 3 wide through turn 10. That would be very interesting. Having a look at Lewis. He's going to go around the outside of Tomo. Tomo's trying to send it down the inside. Tomo might be able to get it on the Red Bull as well. Not quite. He's had to back off as Lewis has gone into the back of Owen. And what is that? Josh Mayer coming out of nowhere on the exit of turn 11. This is fantastic. I did not expect to see a McLaren there when we entered that turn, but there he is, taking 12th position off of Tomo. I think Tomo must have been very surprised about that, but Lewis is trying to get past Owen Wyatt. Owen has shut the door very hard there. And he's going to block off the drive behind him, as it looks like that was either wheel spin or Josh Mayer trying to get somewhere past his teammate. Torpedro a bit farther behind, but he might be able to close up in time. Through turn 1 then, Josh Mayer is right up the chuff of his teammate into turn 3. Might be able to see a move here, but I think we were more likely to see a move from Lewis on Owen. I'm not entirely sure. Heading through turns 5 and 6 then. We'll have to keep an eye out as we go along the straight. We could see something interesting here. It's Kryptonite has got a 3-second time penalty. And that will come into effect at the end of the race. So that is something to watch out for. But anyway, as we go along the straight, Owen and Lewis both have DRS. They're going to go side by side as we head towards turn 8. Lewis has also got Slipstream to help him. They're going to go side by side then down the inside. Can Owen get that position back? He might go for a switch back here on the McLaren. Can he get it down on the power? He is very close behind. He's got the Slipstream, and Lawmans has had an accident, it looks like, because he's dropped all the way to the back of the grid. But we won't have a look at that now, because look at this. Side by side goes Owen and Lewis. Lewis holding on to the position, and Josh might go for another sneaky move here. I think he's going to have to back off a bit, though. But yeah, I'm not entirely sure what's happened there to Lawmans. Has he got damage? I don't think so. So let's go back up to Tomo and Josh Mayer. Owen, that looked like a bit of a moment there, but I think it was just lag or something like that. Oh, and down the inside goes Josh. That was a bit rough, and I think it's cost him on the exit, because Owen has still managed to just about stay ahead. Calm Racer is in the pit, so that's going to be the first of the medium runners to pit. Having a look down the inside is Josh Mayer on Owen Wyatt, but he's going to have to back off there. He's just not close enough to make a move. And he's going to have to leave that out for now. But Tomo could take a look down the inside of Josh Mayer into turn 3. Yes, he does. Lawmans has retired from the session, though. And that is contact. And Josh Mayer is off the track. That's a 3-second time penalty. And we are halfway through the race. Some lockups here, some lockups there. And Betty has taken over the first driver so far that hasn't pitted, which is CJ Slick. So some serious pace from the Renault driver. Almost over 7 seconds clear, nearly 8 seconds clear of Paga. So, actually no, 6 seconds clear of Paga. I'm not entirely sure what I'm talking about there. But anyway, Lewis on Dougie. He might have a look down the inside into turn 10. There's the yellow flags in sector 1. I'm not entirely sure why that is, but down the inside goes Lewis to take the position off the Alfa Romeo into turn 11. It looks like he's going to be able to defend it as well. Yep, he's managed to hold on to that position, so he'll be pleased about that. And Dougie is going to have to leave off for now. Tomo, on the other hand, is closing up behind Josh Mayer and the Husky Chocolate back rear wing even. Hopefully it won't melt, although that's similar to the DRS activating on it, I suppose. In fact, that would be useful if that rear wing could melt on the straights and then freeze again. Into the... I don't really know where I'm going with that, to be honest. I'm just making myself crave chocolate, to be fair, which is not good right now because I'm meant to be commentating. But yeah, overcast conditions have now taken over the track. With 12 laps to go, we could see in about half of that distance, we could see some rain. But look at this, Tomo really trying to get past Josh Mayer, as Josh Mayer has run deep into that turn again. He's lost a position to Torpedro as well. That is not good for him. Lewis is actually clearing Dougie quite quickly. He's really extending that gap, although Josh Mayer is right up the chuff of TNR Torpedro heading along the straight. He's got the DRS activated. Can he get the position as Dougie Falcons gets overtaken actually by Owen Wyatt? And that's a 3-second time penalty for the driver. Tell you what though, it's not been a good race for Spaghetti Chips, having had that spin at the start of the race. He's the driver on tyres, which he's been on since lap 2. So he hasn't been on them quite since the start of the race, but he had that spin earlier. Maybe got a puncture, I'm not entirely sure, but that made him need to pit. Kryptonite actually is one to look out for, because he's right up the chopper Spaghetti Chips. Speaking of Spag, through turn 12 we go, and he's very close, but he's not close enough to make a move. He has had to back off there though to try and avoid contact, so we could see something from one of these drivers at any point in the next couple of laps. So we will need to keep an eye out on... oh dear, just knocked over a bottle of shower gel from my brother's uni bag, which he'll be going to at the weekend, so that should be nice. But there's the yellow flags in sector 2. Terror Racer has made a mistake out of turn 7, and that is bad news for the Racing Point. Heading back down the order though, we'll have a look at one of these drivers here. In fact, we'll have a look at Tomo, because Tomo is fighting to get into the points. And he's going to have a look down the inside of Dougie. This could be the second position. Dougie has lost in the last couple of laps. Down the inside he goes. They're side by side through turn 8. Might be able to see a switch back from the Mercedes and to turn 9. Oh, he's had a bit of a wheel spin there. He's managed to catch it though. That could have been very disastrous for the Merc. And Torpedro is going to be right back behind them. So you got to keep an eye out for that. Can Torpedro make it through? I don't think he can. He's just a little too far behind. Dougie has actually managed to close up to Owen again. That gap was a second earlier. Now it's down to half of that. In fact, below half of that. It's only 3/10 as Alex Killett does go into the pits. So there we can see those mediums can go over 16 laps. And he'll be going on to the hards then for 10 laps. And I don't know. I sometimes think maybe trying to qualify on the hards might be an idea. Although you'd have to sacrifice a lot of track position to do that. So, I don't know. I think these guys are probably a bit better at racing and strategy than me, to be fair. But anyway, we'll keep looking around the order because here comes Tomo. He's closing up behind Dougie very quickly. He's going to have a sniff of the outside line on Dougie, but he's not going to be able to get it as Dougie's had to back off of Owen as there's a lock up there from the Alfa Romeo. Heading through turn 6 then, out of there towards turn 7. We might be able to see him move from one of these drives. We'll ride on board with Tomo heading along the straight then with the DRS activated. 15 minutes to go here. Could we see him move? He's going to move to the inside of turn 9 and we might even see 3 wide into the chicane. Not quite. Tomo's had to back off there. He might be able to get it on the exit though because Torpedro is right behind him, piling on the pressure like a hydraulic press. As those bottom drivers having a bit of a switch around. There's the yellow flags in sector 2. Is that Card Racer? Yes, it is. Card Racer has had a crash. And that is not good. It must have been from this tussle up the order. He must have accidentally hit one of those drivers. And yeah. Anyway, TNR Torpedro behind Tomo and Dougie Falcons. As well as Owen Wyatt. We might be able to see a move here from Tomo. Tomo just can't get past this Alfa Romeo. Although he is really trying as we head through turn 15. He just can't quite find an opportunity. As Deneen has got a 3-second time penalty. We're approaching that window of rain. Alright then, Torpedro closing up behind Tomo. That rain might come sooner than we expect actually because it is really overcast right now. It has been overcast for the last 10 or 15 laps to be honest. So, I don't know, we're on lap 18 right now. I'm going to have a sneaky peek here. Why is Dylan in ILR3? I know, we replaced Dropye, who was overpowered, with Betty, who is equally overpowered. So, yeah, or Dylan, whatever you want to call him. That is rather interesting, as Tomo trying to have a look down the inside of Dougie. He can't quite manage it, though he's gone into the back of Dougie. Without sustaining any damage notably though, and he's managing to back off. Torpedro is right up the chuff of Tomo though, number 69 here on the Haas. Of course, as Tomo is going to make a move down the inside of Dougie Falcons into turn 11. Dougie might be able to get the switch back done on the Mercedes. No, he can't, and I think Josh Mayer is going to get overtaken is going to overtake TNR Torpedro. I did not see him coming. Where has Torpedro, where has Josh Mayer come from as Betty sets another fastest lap? And someone shoots off into the pit lane in the back there. That was Dougie getting 2 positions, but he's about to drop a few more than 2. Yeah, Smag really not having a good race. He might be able to get those hards to the end though, so I don't know, most drivers have already done their sole pit stops. Lewis having a 3-second time penalty there for multiple warnings. TNR Torpedro is right up the backside of Josh Mayer though. With 8 laps to go, it's going to really start closing up. In fact, we're going to go up to Paga because he's going to look down the inside as he heads towards turn 8. Can he get the position on the Mercedes? Yes, he can. He's got it before the braking zone even begins. Good move there from the Red Bull driver. Right then, looking back down the order, we'll return to this battle because this has provided most of the entertainment this whole evening, to be fair. Quite a few gaps further up the field, but 2 DNS so far, not too bad. Calm Race, of course, having that front wing damage. Did Dougie have damage as well? I don't think he did, but you never know. It didn't look like it, but I might be wrong. Calm Racer getting a 3-second time penalty because Torpedro. Well, not because, but here is Torpedro trying to go around the outside of Josh May. He might go for a switchback on that late apex. It's very hard to manage yourself through that turn. Verstappen going on to the softs, the race leader. He could really push here. It all depends on where he comes out. He's definitely going to come out ahead of... no, I was going to say he's definitely going to come out ahead of Paga, but no, he won't. Campbell getting a 3-second time penalty. Of course, he is yet to pit as there's yellow flags, and I think that's Alice Killer. Is that Alice Killer? I'm not entirely sure what is the cause of those yellow flags, but never mind, because here goes Torpedro down the inside into turn 1. He's had to back off there from Josh Mayer out of turn 2 then, and yeah, Torpedro getting a 3-second time penalty for that. Deneen getting overtaken by Kryptonite there, but Torpedro very close behind Josh Mayer. It was down to just half a tenth a second ago. But yeah, look at this, Kryptonite and Deneen. I didn't even see that battle coming, but of course Deneen had that moment just a few laps ago, which sent him straight on the exit of turn 9, which is approaching now. Deneen has had a better exit with the DRS to help him. He's going to get the overtake much before the braking zone. Will Kryptonite be able to send one back down the inside for turn 8? No, he can't. He's going to have to leave that position for now, in the hopes that he'll be able to get it back later on this evening. There are tree leaves being blown everywhere. It does look quite stormy conditions right now, if you know what I mean. Campbell getting a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. That is not good news for him. His tyres, those mediums, really stretched very far. He will probably also go into the same strategy as his teammate Verstappen softs. They'll be one lap fresher for the rest of the race. And he could go for a real push towards the end of the race, so that 5-second penalty won't help him. Paga is up into second. CJ6 is the only driver now. Him himself and Terror Race are the only drivers who haven't pitted so far this race. And they're probably just waiting for the perfect moment before heading onto those soft tyres. A couple of time penalties going on. And that could have quite an impact on the end of the race. Because of course we have only got 6 laps left. And the gaps aren't looking too big. So the drivers are going to have to be very careful about that. Campbell did drop all the way down to 9th with his pit stop. Josh Mayer all the way down to 16th actually. So he's not in a brilliant position, although he wasn't already in a brilliant position. So we'll have to see what that does. But yeah, of course, time penalties are going to have quite an impact on the end of the race. What the heck? It's raining! We had a bit of a graphical glitch, but yeah, it's definitely raining. And with 6 laps to go, have the Ferraris messed up their strategy? Will they need to make another pit stop onto those inters? I know it was predicted 3 to 4 laps before the end, but this is 6 laps. We might actually see the drivers go onto the intermediate tyres. I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, we've definitely got rain going on, as that was very close between Kryptonite and Deneen, almost inside of him there. But yeah, this rain is going to really grease up the surface of the track. And understeer is going to be very prominent, especially around this track with all of its sweeping turns. Looking at QVR Campbell then on Tomo, he's hit the back of the driver! And he's nearly had a crash, but Verstappen setting a fast lap there with a 1:33.5. Even though the track is getting a little bit wet. Around the outside it goes QVR Campbell into a very moist turn 1. Will he be able to get the position? Yes, he does. Good move there from the Ferrari, and he's got that Ferrari up into 8th position. So yeah, 90 years on the side there, of course, in place of the Mission Win Now logo that is absent in the Formula 1 2019 game. Looking at Verstappen though, he might be able to attack for a penalty for a podium. He's going to move down the inside of CJ6. CJ has not pitted yet. In fact, he might try and go onto some kind of wet tyres. Depends on those that position. That might really benefit him. Well, himself and Terror Racer. There's been some really good tyre saving from those 2 drivers. We'll have to wait and see for the message that says that DRS has been disabled, because that is when the track is seriously wet. But yeah, 5 laps to go. I'm not sure if it's going to be beneficial. it's going to be really cutting the edge. But I don't think the drivers are going to have to put onto wet weather tyres. Let's have a look at what CJ6 decides to do. Because he's heading towards the pits now. Yeah, he's going to go into the pits. And we'll keep an eye out on that left side to see if he decides to go on to wet tyres, because the rain is really coming out as there goes Terror Racer into the pits as well. Will it be Inters or will it be Slicks? It's going to be Inters. And does this mean we're going to see everyone on Inters? I'm not quite sure. They might be able to make a late push in the race, although I don't think the track is damp enough yet for that to be beneficial. As White has lifted off to let Campbell through there. That was a bit strange, although maybe he just got overtaken into the braking zone. Oh, I don't know. Conspiracy theories may be flying right now. But anyway, yeah, it's quite interesting right now. I'm not entirely sure what's going to happen, because that rain is coming down, not in full force, but definitely significantly. And those two drivers that are on the Inters, they might have made the right choice. It's going to be close though. I don't think it's going to be beneficial for the top guys to lose 20 seconds by entering the pits for just a couple of laps. I don't think they're going to find that much extra time on wet tyres. Of course, it was a good idea for those guys who hadn't pitted yet for their one pit stop to go onto wet tyres, but... Oh! And there's Owen White. He's had a spin! And that is not good. So it's definitely getting very damp on track. We can see some puddles there. He's really squirreling about there as Deneen is right up the backside of Teonato Pedro into turn 11. Turn 10 we go even. I was looking away for just 1 second. Of course, it was the second that Owen had a spin there. So yeah, the track is definitely getting a bit greasy, as that was very squirrely from Torpedro there. Deneen really fighting to get somewhere through. LR Betty is on the Inters as well. So it looks like everyone's going to be going onto the wet weather tyres. This is very interesting. But Torpedro going into the pits. Deneen staying out though. So look at this. Lots of drivers going into the pits. So those drivers who went onto the softs for the last few laps, that might have been a big mistake. Because they're going to have to make another pit stop. So that's 2 pit stops in a row. Verstappen has gone onto the Inters. So that strategy has really not been good for them. That tyre saving just not working out. Of course, those drivers who waited a couple laps and the rain came out, I mean, it's ideal for them, but just not for those 2 Ferraris as well as Josh. I'm going to have a quick look at this comment. Yeah, Betty or Dylan is a bit too fast for ILR3, I think. Maybe up into ILR2 to join drop, yeah. We'll have to wait and see. Now it's going to be interesting. Can Betty or Delano catch up? Or are the Inters not fast enough yet? It looks like the 2 tyres are evenly matched, but with a couple of laps left to go, it will be interesting. We had rain in Canada where it was dry, then wet, then dry again. In France, we're just having a wet last couple laps, and it looks like Campbell's fast on the softs for now. But that might all change because Betty has had a spin out of turn 10. And that is a really bad news. Owen has probably going to get the position. Yeah, he has. Although, it looks like it's a bit understeery there. That is Delano. He's had a spin. That's 10-second time penalty for track limits. I think that's a bit harsh for someone who went facing the wrong way. But the game's got a game, as I said earlier. And it looks like the tyres are roughly evenly matched. I'm not entirely sure. I'll have a look at those comments in a second, because Paget is in the lead. QVR Campbell has gone into the pits. Thomas is going to stay out. But look at this. Side by side goes Verstappen and Owen Wyatt as they head towards turn 1. It looks like those Inters are definitely quicker. Entering the penultimate, or the penultimate lap, I suppose you could say. Owen Wyatt has run straight on at turn 2. Have a quick look at these comments. The rain is really coming down heavily now, yeah? Delano is getting quite the grilling, I suppose. But yeah, that's unfortunate for him. And that's put him up into 6th. Or down into 6th, rather. I think he avoided damage only just, though. And Tomo and Paget are very close. These wet conditions really spicing things up. Betty is going to overtake Owen. So yeah, definitely the Inters are faster at this point, but will they be fast enough to make up that time that was lost? Tomo and Deneen still on their slick tyres as they're going side by side ahead of us. Look at that. That was Verstappen and Deneen, actually. Verstappen overtaking him. So it looks like it was a good call to go on to the Inters. It might be too late for some of those drivers on the slicks to change. But look at this. The rain is really heavily falling now. Oh my goodness. You don't get more of a dramatic finish to a race than that, do you? That was very, very entertaining as Betty has sent one right down the inside of Deneen to take that position from him. Owen's going to crash and rage. Well, if you predict that, let's have a look then, because he's already had one spin. And here we go. Here comes Lewis trying to get it around the outside, trying to get the switch back. Yes, he can. He's got the position as Kryptonite overtakes Josh Mayer. Yes, so this wet weather is very, very interesting as Verstappen has overtaken. No, there goes Tomo into the pits. As we enter the penultimate lap of the French Grand Prix. I said we wouldn't be expecting any rain this evening. I was very much wrong. That's back in quali when I don't even think I was broadcasting. Alex Killer has forced Dougie Falcons off the track. Dougie's going to go into the pits, actually. Just taking a bit of a different line into it. And Josh Mayer staying out on the slicks when it is super, super wet. He's already out of the points. There's not really any point for him to continue. Owen, oh my goodness, what is going on? QVR Campbell trying to send one down the inside of Owen. Yes, he does. Look at that. Just look how much more grip those Inters have. The aquaplaning on those slicks must be absolutely horrendous right now. And you can see the spray coming off. And he's already extended that gap to 2 seconds from Owen. So yeah, there we go. As CJ6 and Deneen. CJ trying to send it past Deneen. Now aquaplaning on the exit of turn 7 when you're trying to go flat out is very bad on those slick tyres as well. But yeah, the rain is coming down in full force now as we're approaching the end of the race. How interesting. Paga has stolen the lead. He's up into first. Betty all the way down to third, having had that spin. So that was not good for such a dominant race. As there goes Campbell past Deneen. Deneen is just dropping down the order like a rock through air. As is Owen on Owen. Because they're the only drivers left on 6 apart from Josh and Con. And there's no point for those two to pit. But will there be a point for these guys to pit? There's not really any. They'll lose too much time. They may as well stay on the 6 because there's only 1 lap left. Will they stay in the points though? That is the real question. As Torpedro gets a 3-second time penalty, Kryptonite overtakes Owen. Owen then, he's only got 1 position between himself and 10th. And behind that will be Tomo, who will be looking to get those points off of him. As Alice Giller gets past Owen. As up ahead, Kryptonite gets overtaking Deneen. And look at that. Owen Wyatt is out of the points. And he is going to be very disappointed. He has been really screwed over by the strategy. The one who told us that it was going to be so wet has been the victim of the wetness, I suppose. As there we go. Around the outside, it goes Tomo on Deneen, and that was really easy. The slick drivers just have to brake so much earlier. As look at that, Torpedro nearly crashing into Owen, trying to overtake him. What the heck? It says Torpedro's on soft, but he's actually on Inter, so I'm not entirely sure what's going on there. As side by side goes Owen and Spaghetti Shit. Spag has got the overtake there though. And it looked like there may have been a bit of wheel-to-wheel contact, but we are on the final lap of the race. And look at that, all those drivers left on 6 are outside of the points. Or Torpedro's about to make that happen anyway. Oh, look at this though. Deneen is nearly crashed into Spaghetti Shit. Spag is up into the points, but he has got almost up into the points. He has got a time penalty. He's going to move to the inside, up towards turn 8. Can he get the position under braking? They're both on Inters. As they go side by side, can Spaghetti Chips get the move? They are still side by side, and yes, he can, but it's going to be Paga who takes the checkered flag this evening. We have to leave that there because look at this. The man who has just about taken the lead and the end of the race there. Yellow flags in sectors 10, Owen Wyatt, and then Antonina out of the Grand Prix as Paga takes the lead. What has happened here? And oh, they've crashed. They have both crashed. Have they done the same thing? Did they have contact? I'm not entirely sure. But that is very bad news for the Toro Rosso and Red Bull drivers. But there goes Lewis to take third with Betty having that 10-second time penalty. So those are the top 3, Paga, Verstappen and Lewis. Kryptonite then next across the line, but these time penalties are really going to come into effect now. Here we go then. It's going to be 7th for Kryptonite and 8th for Tomo, 9th for Alice Killer, Spaghetti Chips in 10th. Can he get the points though? Yes, he will. He'll get 1 point for that championship. Torpedro just behind him. Dougie Falcons, it will be next towards the line. And yeah, I'm not sure what happened. Maybe Deneen and Owen went side by side in the exit of the chicane. Had a bit of contact. Neither of them could save, of course, because of aquaplaning. Actually, look how close that is between Alice Gill and Tomo. Just at 16 thousandths of a second. That's very close. Very risky to do those little celebratory wiggles there from Josh. That can very easily turn into a crash. But anyway, here comes Terra Racer. What a dramatic finish for the Grand Prix. We went most of the race, only 2 DNS. Then on the final lap for Deneen and Owen, both to crash. They didn't even need to, though. That's the problem. They were not going to finish in the points anyway. Oh, and that's a bit of a hit at the wall there for Terra Racer, but he's crossed the line, so he'll be happy with that. Here comes Calm Racer, the last driver, and the last driver on the slicks as well. Across the line goes the Williams to finish what has been an absolutely fantastic Grand Prix. What a race there. That rain really throwing a spanner into the works. I don't think anyone was expecting that. Wow. But these are your podium finishes. It's going to be Paget on top, followed by Verstappen and Lewis. So when Spag span earlier, that was because of the curb, it looks like. We get some XP somehow. Almost at level 7. Maybe next race you'll see me on level 7. Ginger says he got killed. I think that might be a little overly dramatic. But the finishing order is going to be Paganes, then Verstappen RB33, Lewis 11004, LR Betty, CJ6, QVR Campbell, Kryptonite, D43, Tom Skiller 150, Spaghetti Chips, CNR Pedro, Dougie Falcons, Josh Mayer, and Terra Racer and Khan Racer running off the grid. The DNFs were LR Denise 69, Owen Wyatt at 15, and Lawmans, followed by the Ginger. Oh, quite a few penalties going on there. I think the fastest that went to Verstappen with a 133.5. Yeah, one of the only drivers to get into the 133s. To be fair though, Betty might try and get that penalty removed, so we'll interview the provisional podium finishers. So let's have a look. Friends. Grazie. Someone's saying, what you're in a Red Bull packet, why are you saying grazie? I don't know, but that wasn't directed at me. Alright, so I appear not to have Paget as a friend, so let's invite Verstappen. Oh my gosh, I can't even remember the alphabet. There you go, chatting party. Alright, let's just go to the party quickly and we'll search for Paget. Pager. Don't know how to spell that past there, but there we go. And then it was Lewis 11004, I think. I don't know if I'm inviting the wrong player. That'd be quite funny, to be fair. Yeah, there we go, Lewis. Invite. And let's wait for those guys to join the party. If you have any questions for the podium finishers, do let me know and I'll be sure to ask them. But in the meantime, what a race. That was absolutely fantastic. Although I don't think Lawmans or Deneen rather and Owen are going to be too happy with that final lap. There's Verstappen then. We're just going to wait for Paget to see if he joins. In the meantime, actually, let's just ask you then, Verstappen, how did you feel about that race?
Pretty great, honestly. I was kind of surprised everyone started on softs. But then I just started P16, avoided all the incidents and whatever, and yeah, quickly got up to P7, and after the pit stops P1, and we heard about the rain coming, and yeah, I was like, I'll try to stretch him till the rain comes, but unfortunately it didn't come in time. Yeah, so also I'm really happy with P2, but just knowing that there was another place in it is kind of unfortunate.
I'm just going to invite Betty actually quickly, just because he'll probably get the podium anyway, and Lewis doesn't have a mic, because yeah, Betty will probably get up into the podium anyway, following if that penalty gets removed, which I don't really understand anyway, because got a 10-second time penalty for spinning, which is a bit unfair.
Yeah, saw that.
So that rain really did spice things up at the end. I wasn't sure whether people were going to go into the Inters, but it looked like the Inters were the way to go for the last couple of laps, because of course it caught Deneen and Owen off guard at the end.
Yo, what's up?
Hello, how do you feel about that race then?
I mean, it was pretty good until I spun the car.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Just gonna invite Paga quickly. Yeah, I thought I invited him already, but never mind. But yeah, that time penalty will probably get removed, won't it? Yeah. How do you feel about the rain at the end then, Betty?
I mean, I think I pitted at the right time. I just pushed too hard when I came. Like, I think it was my first lap out. Yeah, I just pushed too hard.
Also, one thing to mention is your pole time was faster than the ILR1 pole time, so that's quite impressive.
Was it?
I think. Yeah. The ILR1 was a 129.4. Apparently, yours was a 129.3. So.
Oh shit! I didn't even know that. That's sick.
Yeah, it's really good. All right. That was Paga wanted to join. I did invite him. Paga. If not, we'll just end the stream. We'll just give him a couple seconds to see if he wants to join. But yeah, is there anything you guys want to say about that race?
I'm a bottle. Nothing further.
I just really enjoyed it. Great race.
Yeah. Well, Paga's invited me to a party, so I'll join that and interview him, I suppose. So I'll see you guys next race. Alright, Paga.
Hello.
How do you feel about winning that race then?
Mental.
Yeah.
Absolutely mental, dude. I think I just played at the right moment.
Yeah. I mean, that rain at the end, how do you feel about it?
I mean, I did quite a bit of rain practice, so I felt fairly comfortable in the rain. The only part where I wasn't comfortable was when like the transition to softs to inters.
Yeah. I mean.
But yeah, I just needed like a lap for. I just needed one lap, and then I was like spot on.
Yeah. Is there anything else you want to say about the race, or?
Well, I kind of feel bad for Betty, to be fair.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
He was leading for quite. He was like leading the whole race until we had to pit for inters.
Yeah, I think that 10-second time penalty will probably get removed anyway. But anyway, I think we're going to end the stream there then. Thank you everybody so much for watching. I do hope you enjoyed the race, because I certainly did. And I will see you next time. Goodbye.